Hi everyone, thank you for tuning back in. Lilly Sky Tarot, thank you for watching the August Aries video. So let's get this started. I hope everyone has been having a good summer. Yay. And as always, if you want your readings, definitely contact me. Alright, so I'm going to feature a card that I have used on my channel maybe 3 years ago, and I want to do a love reading, so you'll see in the title. I just feel inspired to also do a love reading, just a general one. As always, it's best to get your personal reading. All right, so let's get started. Aries. So I'm gonna lay the cards out, and this is my passion, as you know. I love doing this. I have some cards that I have here, and I haven't looked at these in a long time. This is like when I first started my channel. I had the layout that I preferred, and like all of these things. But yes, just bringing back memories. December will be maybe 5 years of this channel, so I believe this will be 5 years. So I'll look into it. Maybe it's more. But anyway, all right. So if you know, definitely write a comment. Okay, Aries. Here we go. So I'm going to lay these cards out. And what I want to do, I'm going to still lay out the 9 as I've always done. Well, not always. I like to change it up a little bit. But let's lay out the 9 cards. I'm going to change the angle so you can see it a little bit better. Hopefully that's good for you guys. I'm going to bring it in a little bit more. Okay. So the first card I pulled was the Ace of Cups. Okay. Now with the Ace of Cups, I want to bring it over a little bit more. With the Ace of Cups, this is all about the good things that you want in life, or that you're projecting that you want in life. Okay. And you can also view this as the God energy card, if you will. Okay. I like to view this as everything that's all good. God, the all universe, good fortunes, right? And right next to it is the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune now, next to this card, is like maybe you're thinking of the things that you want to get in life. Maybe you're feeling stressed out, maybe a little even envious, jealous, just thinking about what you want in your life and seeing if it matches up, you know. And I feel like it's time for you to not worry so much about the ego part of yourself. More focus on maybe even community or working together. And you're always looking at the angle of how will this benefit you, which is great, right? But taking things to a level of even a higher consciousness to help you feel joy in your life and the goals that you want to accomplish. And just remember that things are always changing. They go up, they go down. You know, things are not going to always be the same. You're not going to always feel the same way about things. The Knight of Swords comes in, and everything that you're thinking about, you know, the things that in life that, you know, you're experiencing, things that you're going through, the ups and the downs, things that are always changing, and you just keeping a positive mind. Even the Ace of Cups is like reminding you of that positive mind, that higher self, if you will, and the things that you're trying to obtain. The Wheel of Fortune, that's a major arcana. The Knight of Swords is a reminder of your peace, but your fighting ability. It's like you feel like, okay, I have to defend myself, or I have to do this, I have to do that. It's like all the pressures that you put on yourself. But then again, the Knight is like reminding you that there's always more to learn, and that yes, you can be strong, but how strong do you need to be? How strong do you feel you need to be? Right? Now, using your words and expressing yourself. Maybe there's something that you always wanted to say, but maybe now you have to change the way you say it, right? So that it doesn't make the situation worse. Maybe it'll bring about more peace, more understanding, more togetherness, okay? And the Ace of Cups also reminds you of how you want to be first in things, right? And maybe the first thing you can really think about is your own healing, your own journey, your own forgiveness, your own happiness, everything that has to do with healing. This ace is reminding you of. And I always feel like the first card that you get pulled in a tarot reading really is the most powerful message. And it's all also, I feel, from years of reading tarot, is that the first tarot card is usually what you don't want to hear, or you'll miss the message in it, right? Because we're like, okay, what's coming next? What's coming next? And you're going to miss the message, but there's a lot of healing here. And instead of what you think you want first, Aries, think about what is best for you in the long run, right? It's always what, it's like, okay, I'm showing you this right now, right? And you can think whatever you think the Ace of Cups means. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's what I want, that's what I want. But there's something else that you actually need. And that goes for all zodiac signs, right? So again, this is for Aries, birth sign, rising, north node, or if your moon is in Aries, you can always get something out of this. And even if Aries is in your Mars, right? Because that's the ruler of Aries. So you can definitely benefit from that if you know your chart. So the healing, the self-healing, always double checking yourself the way you're thinking, right, to bring more joy into your life. And now here's the Knight of Swords is reacting to whatever you're creating. Is going to show up, even in a general reading a little bit, it will show up just a little bit. Of course, the personal readings is stronger, but the Knight of Swords, this is like saying, okay, you always feel like you need to put up a wall of protection for yourself, and that's great. But who are you fighting and why? And maybe you're fighting your own jealousy or misunderstandings, right? Because the Knight is still learning. He's not a king yet. He's still learning. The Justice card, another major arcana, along with the Wheel of Fortune. So what do you feel that you need justice for? What's going on? Why do you need justice? Who are you fighting against? Maybe you need justice from yourself, because this is like a time of reflecting, right? This could be a strong time of reflecting for you. And maybe you feel like, okay, yeah, there is justice there somehow. Now you have the Lover's card. And a great way for you to distract yourself maybe from the things that you need to work on is your relationship, right? Just being physically with the person that you're in a relationship with, or just thinking about dating and anything that brings you pleasure to distract you. Another thing that you could be thinking of is Six of Coins. Your work. Maybe your work is a great distraction for you from focusing on what you need to focus on. And it's also a good thing, because we need that flow of energy in life to survive. But it could also be a distraction from what you really need to be thinking about. And these first two cards pop out. The Ace of Cups is like, okay, what kind of healing can you bring in your life, so that when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune and everything ups and downs, things that change, that you can actually handle these changes. Because there's a lot of change coming around, and feeling defensive, feeling like you should have justice for it. And then here comes a relationship and finances. And then the Six of Cups. So think about when you were a child, like what triggered you to react in a way when you feel like there's competition, you feel like there's misunderstanding, there's jealousy, anything that will just disrupt your day. How do you handle that? And are you handling it in a peaceful way, but just blowing it off, ignoring it? Or are you trying to fix it, heal it, and have fun and make things better? So the way that you're viewing things, right? And you feel, and maybe you're not even thinking of losing that initial spark. If it's something that makes you happy, if it's work related, if it's something that brings you joy, what was your initial reason for doing something? What is your passion? What is your joy, right? And working around people, being an adult, you can lose that childhood innocence. So maybe just losing that innocence of a child is causing a lot of disruption. Six of Swords, either a physical move from your home, maybe a shift in, at the least, a shift in the way you're thinking. But maybe a bad situation is changing and you're just kind of cleaning house and making new changes to things. And looking, maybe doing a review of like, okay, what did I do wrong? What could I do better? All of that, like all these things can help. A deep reflection can definitely help. Four of Coins. So Four of Coins. So to me, I feel like this energy is reverting back to what the Ace of Cups is trying to heal. And even the Six of Cups is like, okay, reminding you of your past and maybe what sparked the problem. And now you have this type of hoarding, holding on to whatever you feel is yours. It's like, I feel like this is mine. This is mine. I don't want to share it, right? It's like that greedy. I always think of Scrooge McDuck when I I had a workshop on tarot cards, and we were talking about what this card means. We're just focusing on all the minor suits and the meaning in the first workshop. I don't know if you guys saw on my other channels, but yeah, this card is like that greedy card, that holding on to money. And you can view it in negative or positive, but this is like you holding on to what you feel is yours. And rightfully so, we should be protective of things, but we can be so protective that we block more blessings, we block sharing, the ability to share, the ability to learn how to work together and be harmonious. Okay, so that's what the reading is, Aries, and I want to share with you guys a love card. Okay, I really love this card deck. I've had it for years, and either I will use a different deck, or I will pick from another one of my favorite tarot card decks, cards that related to love and relationships. So there's two ways that you can do a love reading, and I'm not going to say it, I'm just going to do it, but you can use the tarot cards and take out a few cards and do a love reading like that. And everyone has their own different ways of doing it. I'm just going to show you what I do and how I do it. And if you have a comment about that, whenever I do use traditional tarot deck for a love reading, if you have cards that you're like, oh, you can also add this card in it, then that would be great. Definitely share those thoughts. So let's see for love for Aries what this is all about for you guys. Yeah, I want to move this down a little bit so you can see it. All right. So I haven't played with this card deck in a while, and it comes with a book, so you can read the meaning of the card. It has like a little write-up on there. All right. So I feel like I usually wanted to pull one, but I feel like pulling three, guys. So let's do that. Okay, so where it comes into love relationship. Okay, helpless and hopeless, number 8. Okay, okay, so helpless and hopeless. So what you would do is you would go to 8. Oh my gosh, I turned right to it. That is ridiculous. Okay, The key words: work, perseverance, skill, understanding. Creating and maintaining satisfying relationships takes effort and diligence. You've shown that you have what it takes and that you're dedicated. Through your life experiences, you've learned some valuable interpersonal skills. Use these tools to continue to nurture your relationships with family, friends, and your partners. It's easy to lose focus, especially when situations become difficult. However, you have the integrity and discipline to continue to work at improving your relationships with others. Your efforts will be rewarded. This is a good time to learn more about the people you're currently in a relationship with. The more you understand a person's beliefs, the easier it is to comprehend the motives behind his or her actions. This greater understanding will go far in fostering better communication. Learning new communication skills would also be useful at this time. You have what it takes to sustain positive, loving, supportive relationships. Keep up the good work. This is good. This is what I'm talking about. Because remember how, I don't want to mix this up. Let me put these guys right here so I keep them in order. Okay, guys, I know you can't see it off camera, but, you're with me. You're good. You know what? I could put it on top of it. No. So this is what I'm talking about. The relationship, distracting with money. So Aries, work, be open. Work on, the more that you're open with someone, the more they fall in love with you. The more that you're yourself. You love yourself. So whenever I talk about love, I get really serious in a sense because, I'm all about loving yourself first and being comfortable with that, not just being all over someone else. That's just weak. That's just weakness to me, but showing love and being open after you've loved yourself and you can balance that all out. But I love what it says about understanding another person's belief and where they're coming from, right? So in all of this ups and down in life and feeling like you have to defend yourself, it's for a lot of zodiac sign and studying the signs, it's a lot for certain signs to be vulnerable, right? So this card is saying that. Now we have to find balance. Okay, this could be long too. This is going to be a long one. So find balance, right? So this one's all about see, hear, sense, quiet, intuition, knowing. Take a moment to quiet your mental chatter and listen. In relationships, it's important to pay attention to what the other person is really saying. Too often in conversations, you're always ready, planning what you're going to say while the other person is still talking. You make assumptions about what the conversation is going, where the conversation is going, and plan your part of the conversation accordingly, even working the conversation to a desired outcome. When this happens, you don't truly hear what the other person is saying, and in doing so, you weren't present for that person. Am I reading the correct one? Find balance. Okay, I don't think I'm reading the correct one, but maybe that message was, okay, my mistake. I wasn't reading the correct one, but maybe that number 2 was what you needed to hear. I was reading number 2, this one, in case you guys have the card deck and you're like, oh my gosh, listen, I was reading listen. Okay, didn't notice that. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, I haven't played with this one in a while, but I love this card deck. It is really beautiful. One of my favorite ones. Okay, so find balance. So cope, multitask, breathe, right? Arbitrate. I think that's what it is. Okay, so if you have this card deck, and we know we believe in no mistakes, right, guys? So maybe that other card was a message for you to actually check into. So let's find out about this one. You may find that matters of the heart require extra effort at this time. More and more demands may be placed upon you, requiring you to juggle your attention. Family gatherings, school commitments, requests for assistance, and other obligations may arise within a short period of time. Just breathe and remember to be flexible. Adapt your approach to each situation at hand. Know that you have the ability to keep everything and everyone in balance. You may also be called upon to play the role of mediator. This is a time for compassion and understanding, and you are up to the task. Work with people individually, giving each position equal consideration. Help all involved to understand another viewpoint and find middle ground. Finally, in order to maintain balance, you yourself must be in balance. So it's vital that you take time for yourself. So as much as you want to help others, right? Let me just dismiss that. As much as you want to help others, there's a time that you need to also help yourself and find balance. And finding that balance might also help you not to have more conflict or misunderstanding. And then here we go. It's another balance card. So I'm going to make sure it's the correct balance, because there's like 2 or 3 numbers for like the same number, right? So there's like 2 or 3 number 3s in the deck. Let me go to the front part. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it all depends on the number of the cards, okay? So we have balance, renew, acknowledge, compromise, equality, harmony, healing, okay? So this is all about balance, all right? Balance is important in all aspects of life, but it is essentially important in relationships, both with others and with yourself. This card suggests that you examine your relationship to see if there are truly in balance. A healthy relationship should include time to be together as well as time to be apart. That's so true. Okay, so take some time in peaceful solitude to renew your acquaintances with yourself. Acknowledge acknowledge what you bring to the relationship and what your partner brings to the relationship. Very important as well. Ensure that you both play an equal role and that no one person dominates. Very important. Compassion is required in order for a relationship to be harmonious. Be willing to give and receive. By finding the middle ground, you'll help to ensure that your needs and the needs of your partner are met. Compromise also includes accepting that the people are individuals with different personalities and ways of looking at the world. Embrace your differences. Rejoice in your similarities. If you find yourself at odds, be willing to work through issues honestly and with love. Confidence that your differences can be resolved. This is an exciting time to help heal discordance relationships by bringing them into better balance. If you're seeking a romantic relationship, balancing aspects of your own life will open the way to love, to new love. Also making sure that your relationship with family and friends are in balance will set the tone for the new romance that is on its way to you. And this is so important. So making sure that the relationship that you have is a balanced one, right? Making sure that we all hear each other, that everyone has time to speak, right? So I love this card. So when it comes to love for you, Aries, what I feel like these cards, and these cards are like oracle cards, they're different than tarot cards, so it's important that I say that. These are oracle cards. So the oracle cards, they come with a write-up and a meaning to each card, all right? And when it comes to love relationship, it is so important that you hear the other person and that you're willing to be vulnerable and to open up, right? So Aries, I hope you like this reading. This is a really long video. It's going to take a while to upload, but I thank you guys for watching, and have a good August 2014. I'll see you guys next time.